Now up 21-0, and we're a little bit ahead of the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes 29 seconds on the clock. But as they say, the fat lady is singing.
She is singing opera like you've never heard before. The game's over. There's nothing you can do. Seattle dominated from the beginning to the end, and here we are, 21 to.
Well, the Vikings dominated in the first half on defense as well. The first half and most of the second half was dominated by defense on both sides of the ball. But then the fourth quarter happened.
That it did. And at the end of the day, you have to finish a game, and Seattle did exactly that. Wow, how fast are both of these teams? And are they not teaching everybody else in the NFL right now to play real quick, solid, fast, and hard defense?
Oh, yeah, and again, we go back to what we've been talking about, how the Dallas Cowboys defense is surging,
right,
carrying that team, if you will.
Absolutely.
Okay, and now you look here at two teams who were neck and neck and both in the game because their defenses kept them in the game. But then at the end, one offense and one player that we talked about as the guy, and all right, we both picked our teams, whatever, but we both agreed. If you can't stop Russell Wilson, you're probably going to lose.
You're probably going to lose,
yeah.
And you're exactly right. But you know what? Kirk Cousins will put up a fight against anybody, and I love this matchup because of how quick they are at every single position. Look at the receivers, but then look at the cornerbacks.
They have
look at the secondary, and then look at the other side of the ball, and they have the exact same talent on both sides, and these guys battle each other every time they meet.
It's the same thing that when the Cowboys played the Saints found out. It's the same thing when the Cowboys played the Eagles found out. It's what these two teams right here found out. Their defenses can shut down the other team's offense up to a point, and it's a matter of which team's defense. When you have dominant defenses, which team's offense is going to go over, which team's defense is going to break.
Right.
One quarterback did.
Did you see the speed there? We're talking about just launching downfield. What was that, a 35-yard play from scrimmage?
This is Kirk Cousins in garbage
to
time.
Thielen.
And of course, you look at him right there to Rudolph, hit him in both hands. And you wonder why Kirk Cousins is having such a bad day.
Why didn't you do that earlier on? Why didn't you do that in the first quarter?
Well, I mean, when you hit your guys in the hands and they drop them like he just did, there's not a whole lot you can do. But you look at Kirk Cousins today, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 1 fumble, 0 fumble recoveries. His own, he gave it up right here at the end of the game that went the distance the other direction. Wasn't a pick six, it was a fumble six, if you will.
Right.
Wow, they got dominated. What I want to do is talk to our engineer here about bringing up a few plays. If you can bring them up on the screen where we can see them too. And we want to talk to you about some of the dominant plays that happened all pretty much in the fourth quarter.
Right.
And they were some impressive plays. Right now we're going to look up, you're looking at what is obviously a fumble. His arm is coming back. You look at what the defense has done. These guys practice this every day. They pick it up, they go. All right. This is what they do. They take opportunity. They pick up the ball. They move. Let's look at some more replays here and talk about them as they come on. If we could put one on a loop, I'm thinking about one specifically, especially in the running game. Let's see what he can come up with here. Some of these plays that they came up with, it took 4 quarters to develop them. When you're going to do a running game and you're going to stay pure to it, you're going to stay dedicated to it, you're going to get 2, 3, 4 yards early, but then later in the fourth, things start coming around,
right,
and you start making plays. And when this happens, then you can put it up and your game can dominate. You can have a running back, and when you are we talked about this in the previous show, when your running back core, doesn't matter with Rashad Penny, any of those guys, they're all, 4, 5, 6 yards a carry. These guys are getting it done. So Carson comes in late in the game. Rashad Penny has just been hammering it, doing really well. And then Carson came in the fourth, and he had like 4 or 5 carries. What happened on those carries?
Well, he just got shut down because they were already responding to what Rashad Penny was doing. And those defenses are matched up against such speed that there's nothing you can do about it. That they're going to stop every play that you're trying to bring forward. I don't care if it's Carson or Rashad Penny. This is a smash mouth, fast paced game, and that's what you're going to see on the defensive end.
All right. And actually, when you look, though, Carson, when he comes in with a lot of energy like he did early on, they're stopping Carson, just like you say. And then in the fourth, when they got in, Carson all of a sudden starts getting out on the, wide on the right, wide on the left, inside and down. All of a sudden, it's not Rashad Penny. He was the guy that was carrying the ball in the second, a little bit in the third, and then towards the end of the third and into the fourth, they go a totally different way. You just don't see Rashad Penny in the game hardly at all. And the running game doesn't really change. It actually picked up in energy. Generally, running backs get better with more carries. Here they seem to have found a formula where these running backs are doing pretty darn good with less carries. And that's really weird, isn't it?
Well, they're not trying to do anything other than eat up the clock when you are that far ahead in the game. This is a match where they have not been able to put any points on the board no matter what they did on the offensive side. So the more clock I can eat up on the defensive end, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I don't give a crap if I only get 2 yards on a carry and I gobble up the entire clock and I end up with a 5-minute control
drive
of the last part of the game. Even if I cough it up at the end, I'm going to make you beat me.
Well, you look at the freshness here of Carson as he comes in on the outside. I mean, you're having swarming defense, 3, 4, 5 guys coming in, and Carson refuses to go down.
Right.
He's taking in, he's pushing him off. He's making the defenders expend energy. They don't really have at this point.
They don't.
Because they're not getting rotated like these running backs are.
It's on them.
Yeah, these running backs are only getting 10 to 14 carries each a game. They're not getting 20, 25, 30 touches.
They are rotating fresh legs into this offense and demonstratizing the defense right now.
But the biggest running play,
there's just boom, boom, boom.
Exactly.
And we're going to give you 3 different guys. Go ahead and try to guard them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just tough. Try to stop them. And that's what they're not able to do, especially when the running back is the guy that gets it done the most, okay? The running back, the QB. The QB in the running game, your biggest run for the day, actually the season, I believe, for the Seahawks, was turned in by the QB today. All right, yeah, and as you can tell, everyone is here, okay? And right now, we're going to watch a replay of this as he gets around to the outside, and you're going to watch him turn. Okay, excuse me, no, we have the wrong replay up. I'm sorry. Well, we were looking at the Rashad Penny play. Now we're going to look at the QB takeoff. Now watch the protection break down here, and he's taking off to the left, keeping his eyes down the field. That's what Russell Wilson does. He's not. But when he tucks the ball and takes off, he gets some yards. And then smartly, down at the end, slides, keeps the clock running. Check this out. Look at this. Late in the game, inbounds. Hit his hip inbounds. The play stops right then. That's done. That's over, okay? That's what you have to do. This was the epitome of what they did. This play blew it open in the fourth for them. Beyond that, they had so many other plays where players stood forward. But this play right here, where he breaks it down and goes out. Now, the other guy, let's talk about this. Let's talk about Barr. Now, the rule on field goals, extra points, whatever, okay, is you cannot launch yourself off the other team or your own players using your feet. You can't step off of them. But you can use your hands on your own players, not on the other teams. So you look at what this guy does. He launches himself off both players. That you'll notice the center. He keeps his head down and he braces himself out to try to keep the line staunch because he knows nobody can touch him as long as he keeps his head down.
Pummel himself over that entire line.
Do you want to be that guy?
Are you kidding me?
Man.
Do you know how much, there's 795 pounds in front of him, just plowing into the front of the line.
Coming. So
he's
like,
grabbing
And it's all coming. He puts both hands
It's
down.
ridiculous.
He goes over.
The single greatest, most athletic move
Just
in the
incredible.
history of football.
Bounces up, knocks it down. This actually defined the game. Totally defined the game. You take those two plays together, one for the offense, one for defense/special teams. I think that they really help explain why the Seattle Seahawks are going to be going to the playoffs, which we talked about earlier. This is a playoff game. And why I actually think that the Minnesota Vikings, with all of their talent, with their $84 million quarterback, who is a good quarterback, I think they're going to be sitting at home.
Of course, he's a good quarterback. He's from Michigan.
Well, there we go. Okay. And if you're from Michigan, you are good. All right. Or even if you're playing in Michigan, that's
Any
good too.
affiliation to Michigan whatsoever.
It works.
And you're good.
All right. Well,
It's
look,
fun.
we really hope that you enjoyed everything. Please, if you're on YouTube, subscribe down below. Hit that little bell. If you're on Twitter, hey, follow, man, so you can catch up and everything that we're doing. We put out so much work on Sports Talk Line.
Yep.
We hope you've enjoyed. We're going to be doing this through the playoffs. Be kicking back. So be sure and check back. Again, follow if you're on Twitter, and be sure and subscribe if you are on YouTube. Thank you so much. And until next time, we want you to listen and watch like you play with intensity.
One more thing I want to drop
hold
is
on.
that we will be broadcasting live from the mountain up in Big Bear.
That's
Wait
right.
till you see the broadcast that we have coming for you.
It's going to be pretty exciting, folks. We'll see you then. Let's launch it.
Let's launch it.